Marian Foreman left a comment on my last video, and I want to respond to it. She said, and I'm reading this verbatim, "These people are so pathetic. They gave illegals everything for free, so they owe the Dems the vote. Black folks owe them nothing. They should get nothing." I see a lot of people online making this same claim. In fact, I've said the words replace myself. So this is a great video for me to take the time to break it down for you. See, this is the way I look at this issue with the Democratic Party. It's not so much as replace, but it is add to. They want to add us to their mix, but that doesn't mean combine. If the Democrats said they were going to replace Black Americans, if they made that too obvious, Black people would leave in droves. We'd be packing up and rolling out immediately. So they can't say that. They can't make it that obvious, even though many have already left. Here's what I actually think is happening. The Democrats have a strategy, and in that strategy, there's two things. The first thing is Democratic elites, Black Democratic elites, they're going along with the Democratic plan. And the plan is to bring in Hispanic voters. Number two, Democrats believe it's really their only way to regain power. Yeah, they did the numbers and they came up with reality. And the reality says if they want to beat the Republicans, they got to have more numbers. And the only way they can have more numbers is they're not going to be able to go get a bunch of white folks who vote Republican and all of a sudden adopt their platform. That ain't going to happen. So what they're trying to do is to get power back by getting Hispanic voters. That makes sense? So one, it is a strategy that they're using. That's why people go along with it. That's why the Democratic elites won't say anything against it. They can't say it out loud. Why? Because Black folks will leave. And two, they feel like they got no choice because they got to regain power. And you can't regain power if you don't have the numbers. Let me show you what I mean with receipts and numbers. And with an analogy, it's going to make you uncomfortable, but you're going to get it. Watch till the end. Let's start with size. 14 million. That's right, 14 million undocumented people across the southern border. According to U.S. Border Customs and data, over 14 million undocumented people crossed the U.S. southern border during Joe Biden's reign. All right? Now, that ain't a trickle. That's not a humanitarian crisis. That's a instant electorate. All right? 14 million people are a whole lot of people. 14 million is the size of some countries. That's a transformation happening in real time. Number two, they are the future of America. Now, I want you to check out what Joe Biden said himself. 2019 in a debate for the Democratic primary, Pete Buttigieg on stage. The question was about reparations for Black Americans. Listen to how Biden responded to that question.
Vice President Biden, do you support reparations?
Look, let me, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America, and we should invest in them. Everybody will benefit from it, every single American, and you should get used to it. This is a nation of immigrants. That's who we are. That's why we're who we are. That's what makes us different, and we should invest in them.
Thank you, Mr. Biden. Senator Klobuchar.
When asked about reparations for Black Americans and closing the racial wealth gap, Joe Biden pivoted to talking about Hispanics. He talked about Hispanics in schools, how we need to support them, how they're the fabric, the backbone, they work like the devil. He didn't say Black Americans are the future of America. He said immigrants are the future of America. And then he said in not so many words, Black America, you better get used to it. Fast forward to Joe Biden. He's on a radio program in 2024. He said this, and I mean, it don't get no clearer.
It's a little bit like back in the 1840s when the great exodus from Ireland because of the famine and the way Irish Catholics were treated. We said, no, we don't need any more of those folks. There's a large influx. There's even a bigger influx now in terms of Hispanic voters or Hispanic citizens who want to become citizens. So it's just enormously important.
Yeah. He corrected it and he said, I meant citizens. But the slip was already out there and people already ran with it. People caught him saying what his brain was saying. His mouth said it, his brain said it, his mouth said it, and then he tried to reel it back in. Too late. Now, the White House responded to the fallout, and they said, well, only American citizens can vote. Yeah, but all you got to do is make them citizens, and then they can vote. I mean, you get the people here, and then you make them citizens. You don't make them citizens and then get them here, right? So it's a process. We understand how it works. You have the baby, then you bring the baby home. You don't bring the baby home before you have the baby, right? Democrats don't want us to know straight up what's going on. They want to be slick about it because, well, we'll all just leave. This is the way I try to explain it to people so it makes sense and we can be on the same page. Imagine you've been married. You've been married for decades. You've been paying the bills. You've been coming home on time. You always been there for this spouse. But all of a sudden, spouse start hanging out late. Yeah, that spouse start spending time away. Worst of all, they start spending money with this other person. Money in the bank account is going out, nothing's coming in for you. It's being used with them, this new person that they found. You don't know this. Then you start discovering like, hey, why is this happening? Why are things changing? And you ask, hey, what's going on? And they say, nothing's wrong. I still love you. Hey, let's go on a date night. We'll call it Juneteenth. Or maybe, let's go see your mama. Yeah, you ain't seen your mama in a while. We'll call that Rosa Parks on a $50 bill, or Hip Hop Day, or, they're gonna come up with some name for it. But the truth is, they didn't start making promises to someone else. Driver's licenses, housing, college tuition, medical coverage, EBT or food, everything, shelter, everything. And you're not a fool. You ask them, hey, what's going on? And they say, you paranoid. You tripping. Ain't nothing going on. There you go, listening to independent media again. Don't you know they just trying to break us up? They just trying to play with your head. They jealous of you. Or maybe they get real bold and they say, hey, you're right. I'm seeing somebody else, but hey, don't worry. It's enough for me to go around. I love both of y'all. But here's the truth. They're not leaving you because it would be messy. Yeah, they might lose some money in the divorce. What they want to do is keep both of y'all in play. It's the easy move. They want to have their cake and eat it too. Black Americans, we are the spouse that's getting cheated on, and the spouse that's cheating, well, that's the Democratic Party. And that's it in a nutshell. And those that want to deny it and want to play games, they're just friends of the Democratic Party. They're not going to betray their friend and tell us. Nah. Especially when the Democratic Party is taking them out for drinks and providing for them and got them on the payroll, making sure they got a nice cottage drive, nice whip, nice clothes, clean, got a future. They ain't going to tell you the truth. They just trying to make sure their spot is solidified. That makes sense? We're going to have to decide, are we going to continue to give them the cake for free? What are we going to do here? What are we getting out of the equation? We got those that work for the Democratic Party that are quietly allowing us to get next to nothing, as close to nothing as humanly possible. And just tell us, if you go out there, ain't nobody out there for you. Stay here because ain't nothing there. Ain't nobody out there. Here's the problem that's happening. When the Democrats are basically neglecting the black community, when black Americans feel like they're not getting anything for their vote, they're not being respected, well, then this happens. If this, fam, is data, black voter turnout since 2008 to 2024 is down. According to USA Facts, black voter turnout in 2024 was 59.4%. That's down 3 percentage points since 2020. Now, here's the part that has the Democrats scared. That's 11% less than white voter turnout. We haven't seen a gap that wide since the 1980s because black Americans lack enthusiasm for a party they continue to give their votes to and not get anything from it that changes their lives. 40.4% of eligible black voters did not vote in 2024. Consequences. Now, that's not apathy. That's not people deciding they don't care about their lives. People don't show up when they feel like the system is not showing up for them. And here's where the math gets unavoidable. The numbers are the numbers. Right now, we black Americans make up about 13.3% of the U.S. population. Hispanics are at 26%. By 2050, if everything goes beautiful for black America, the projected high of black American U.S. population will be around 16.9. Hispanic Americans, 40%. 40%. Demographics are destiny in politics. In the party that controls the border, who goes across it, who comes back from it, those that control the narrative, those that control the policy around that, well, they control the outcome of the elections. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer. The majority of the pushbacks, the majority of the changes in this country are the battle between Republicans trying to stop this and Democrats trying to keep the party going. So when Marian said that the Democratic Party is giving the illegals everything they want and not giving us anything, that ain't just her being pissed off or bitter. That's her keeping it real and reading the room. She's seeing that cheating spouse spend all their time somewhere else, and she can realize it's only getting worse from here. And she ain't falling for the okie doke where they try to tell her she's just being paranoid and there's nothing going on. Whatever. See, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy to replace black Americans. Even though I thought it in the past, after reflecting on it, replacing is too cut and dry. That's too simple, and it would be too dangerous. It's easier to just make us one big happy family. But the only problem is, they got way more kids with the other half. Their future is that way. It ain't this way. That's the new perky, younger, childbearing, there you go, spouse. We just an old, loyal, been around for a long time spouse. And now that spouse is asking for things, making demands, wanting an anti-black hate crime bill, wanting reparations, wanting opportunities economically, wanting business loans, programs for their kids, wanting police reform, wanting all these things. In the other group, they just want an opportunity to be here, to work like the devil. They say it like that. I mean, if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will, fam. See, I'm not saying they want to get rid of the black vote. I'm saying they've made a decision strategically that this was the way forward. And those black elites that will never admit I'm right, they just signed on to the agreement. They did it because it's the way the party's going. So you either be in Rome or leave Rome. And number two, it's the only way they see that they can regain power. I mean, Trump beat the brakes off of him twice. Future looks dark. Or maybe it looks brown. But it's not looking black. The problem that we have is that combining us with Hispanic voters doesn't mean we get included. It just means we in the mix. And if you're in the mix but you ain't the main ingredient, you can't dictate terms. You're begging for scraps. And instead of getting scraps, we get worse than scraps. We get to wash the dishes. We get to drive Lyft. We get to drive Uber. And you better get used to it. In the position that we're in now, we're just a talking point that they use to help their new voters. Reflect back to the good old days and call Republicans racist. Marian said, we don't owe the Democrats anything. What does that look like? Does that look like we vote third party? We start a new party? Or we start making some demands now while we still have any power at all so that we can be in a position where we have a chance? Or we just keep going the way we're going, walking off into the darkness? Look, I want to hear from you. Marian, once again, thank you for dropping your comment. I appreciate it. It's very helpful. Without you, this segment wouldn't have hit the same. So I appreciate that. Folks, respond to this comment. We're going to pick one of the comments and we're going to continue the conversation in another video because this is exactly the type of conversation we need to have. I'm Tim Black. Until we talk again, stay courageous, stay bold, but most of all, stay dangerous. Wolfpack.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.